Alright, so what's up, guys? This video, even though I'm driving my Project Cummins, is about owning a 6.0 powerstroke and how painful it actually is, because all you see on YouTube is different videos pretty much telling you not to buy one. Most people know you have to get it bulletproofed and all that stuff, which is true, but then they say they're still somewhat reliable. I mean, my experience with it is I had a 2005 F250. It was a 6.0 powerstroke. I wound up selling it recently, about four or 5 days ago, and it wasn't that bad. I mean, normal maintenance stuff, if you keep up with it, if you're, doing your oil changes, your fuel filter, all that stuff, it's not that bad. I mean, I spent a lot of money getting it bulletproofed and doing stuff like that in the beginning before it broke, which I heard can change the outcome of it. I heard if it does have issues prior to bulletproofing, it'll have issues its whole life. I don't know how true that is. I didn't experience it, but I mean, all in all, it wasn't too bad of an experience. I mean, I paid a couple grand out of pocket to get the head studs, the coolant filters, all that stuff, and did the blue spring upgrade and all that stuff. And I drove it across the country. Sorry for the shaky camera. I drove it across the country quite a bit. I drove it from Tennessee up to Massachusetts like 3 or 4 times. I drove it from Massachusetts to Colorado, and I honestly didn't have any problems with it. I mean, I did get like pesky check engine lights every once in a while for stupid little things. I replaced like ICP sensor and all that stuff. I only had to do that once, and all in all, it wasn't that bad of an experience. And honestly, like, even though I love my Cummins and I wouldn't get rid of it, it wasn't that bad. It was a quick truck. The 6.0 was quick. I didn't use it for too much towing, like no heavy towing, just towing a car and stuff like that. I mean, so I can't speak for the towing capabilities of it, but I mean, the reason I stuck with my Cummins is because I felt like it was less expensive to maintain, and like everyone says, they are easier to work on. But I don't hate 6.0s with all my heart. I think that if people maintain them properly and they spend the money in the right areas, I mean, if you have a 6.0, I wouldn't say go out and get wheels and tires and a lift right away. You want to bulletproof it right away, and then you're going to get a reliable car or a truck. But people don't always necessarily take that step right away. I mean, I would be hesitant to buy another one just because I don't really trust used 6.0s, because they can be problematic. I mean, if they're not maintained properly, you can wind up spending 10 grand real quick. But I mean, if you have one, it's properly maintained. I bought mine off an old guy. It wasn't really used that much. It was super clean. I mean, I didn't have any problems with it. I mean, if you buy one that's beat up pretty good and it has a lot of miles on it, I mean, I bought mine at like 98,000 miles and then immediately went and bulletproofed it. So, I mean, I didn't have any problems at all. I mean, I owned it for, I want to say 40,000 miles and no issues at all, nothing. It's like, I feel like they get a bad rap online just because people say they're like not reliable and they cost a lot of money to maintain, but that's not really the case. They just can't take a beating like other trucks can. I mean, a Cummins can take a beating, but I mean, all in all, any turbo diesel has to be maintained properly or they're not going to make it that long anyways. So I mean, honestly, if you wind up spending $1,000 every 20,000 miles, which for normal people, that's almost 2 years of driving, that's not really that bad. And that's about what it averaged out to be when I owned my 6.0. So I mean, you gotta take everything into account. I mean, it wasn't terrible on gas. It was quick. It got the job done every single time I needed it to. And I mean, I never had an issue with it. I did replace injectors to be, as like preventative maintenance, because they were looking like they were starting to go a little bit, and I just didn't want to run the motor dry. So I did replace injectors, and those can be pretty pricey. But I mean, that's something that, like I said, like every diesel truck needs some maintenance like that. I mean, no truck is completely bulletproof, regardless of what people say. I mean, I spend money on maintenance on my Dodge. Not as much, I will say that, but I mean, I still spend money on it. Whether I'm buying the parts and do it myself or having someone else do the work for me, depending on what kind of job needs to get done. But all in all, it wasn't a bad ownership experience. I mean, it's just like any other vehicle. It is what you put into it. If you're gonna sit here and want a truck that's gonna go forever and you're not gonna maintain it, I mean, yeah, maybe like a Cummins or a Duramax might make it a little bit longer than a 6.0 will, but at the end of the day, they're all gonna break. They're diesels. They require a lot of maintenance, and they require a lot of cash to fix if something's broken. But that's just the nature of the beast. That's how you get a heavy-duty, reliable truck that's good for towing. And that just comes with owning a diesel. Everything's a little bit more expensive, and by a little bit, I mean a lot. But, I mean, I don't hate 6.0s. I would buy one for the right price again, possibly with the right owner, the right previous owner. But, I mean, that's my experience with it. I think it's important to make videos that kind of display both sides of it, because there's a lot of videos that say, like, just don't buy a 6.0. And honestly, if you can find a bulletproof one with the right previous owner and you have you don't have that much money to spend, you can get a pretty nice truck for a pretty cheap price. I mean, it's not bad. It's not a bad way to go. I think I sold mine with 130,000 miles on it, with like, or 130 plus thousand miles on it, well maintained, clean. I think I sold it for what, 9.8 or something like that. So I mean, you can get a pretty good truck. That guy got a pretty good truck for $10,000, and when you're talking turbo diesels, that's a pretty nice deal. Because if you want a Cummins that's as clean as that one was, you're talking like a 3rd gen Cummins or something like that, you're gonna wind up spending like at least 14, depending on where you live. I mean, I live in Colorado, and these trucks are going for anywhere between $12,000 and $18,000 with 200,000 miles on them. So, I mean, sometimes it's not a bad route to go if you're hard pressed on cash and you really, really, really want a diesel. It's not the worst thing ever, but remember, you're hard pressed on cash, and maintaining a 6.0 is not the cheapest thing ever, so it kind of equals out. But that's just my input. That's just a quick video for today. Not the worst truck in the world, but then again, I did sell it and keep the 3rd gen Cummins over it, so I mean, I do like my Cummins a lot better than my 6.0. So take it for what it is. That's my 2 cents. I appreciate you watching. Like, comment, subscribe. There's more videos to come. Still working on intros and video editing and all that kind of stuff, so bear with me. But, you know, slowly but surely, we're going to get the YouTube channel together. And I appreciate you guys watching.